Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Problem Solver Politics live stream. I am your host, Cardin Ellis, with Cody the Oracle.
Hey, everybody.
And in the pre-show, Cody says I don't need to jump into the show so much, that I need to let it breathe, that I need to let it ruminate, let people get into the room. It's kind of like a good social event. You know what I'm saying? Which reminds me of it's either one of two things, Cody. You're either wise and a savant into the ways of YouTube, or you're like those radio hosts that chat for just 2 or 3 phrases too long before they get to what's going on, and it bugs me. So I don't know if it's me jumping the gun or if it is your wizardry.
Do you know why a lot of the times radio hosts will do that in my experience?
Because they don't have something better to say.
In my experience, not always, but in my experience for a couple of little radio work I have done, the first break will be one of the shorter ones. So instead of getting into everything, when one of your shorter segments, or the segment will be one of the shorter segments. So if you only have like a 5-minute segment and then a couple longer ones, it's like, hey, how you guys doing? Here's the show today. Isn't life crazy? Anyway, we're going to break. Like there isn't one.
Yeah.
Anyways, though.
So hit me.
Oh, here we go. So we made like 20, 30 seconds before jumping around. But It is the title of the stream. Very interesting today. So today I actually, a little side note, I decided to foray back into Twitter a little bit. It's been awful so far and I have not liked it, but in jest a little bit. But I saw this tweet. Now, some of you guys might recognize the Steve Guest. I believe he's like Trump's, what's the word for it? My point being is he doesn't work for the Joe Biden campaign. I believe his official title is the GOP Rapid Response Director. So when I saw this, I'm like, is this really real? Did Politico really actually post Biden's VP pick ahead of time? Or is this just kind of like, you know, like what's the word I'm looking for?
Yep.
Like, is this a fake meme image? They both happen from the GOP Rapid Response Director, maybe. But he posted a link to the article. And see if I can just... Oh, is this the article? Here we go. So here's the article itself. The Running Mate Rundown. Sorry, let me crop it a little better for you guys. Tracking Joe Biden's VP pick. And was that really Kirsten Gillibrand's face I just saw flash by there a second ago? That's a lie. Kirsten Gillibrand's
Ghost
VP.
of Christmas Past.
Anyway... you'll notice now that it has all these things here. It no longer says under Kamala Harris's name. Let me find the Kamala Harris thing. Where's Mrs. Harris? Never mind. I got that wrong anyway. That was Michelle Lujan Grisham. So that was indeed not. It looked like her kind of. But here we go. And you can see that it did not say that Kamala Harris was the winner. Pretty normal. However, what I did come across, and which is in this article, a lot of scrolling. Sorry, guys. I didn't realize we'd be scrolling this much. Is that there is an editor's note in this article saying that an earlier version of this graphic I did it again. Mistakenly reported that Biden had made his VP selection. We read that mistake.
Dun, dun, dun.
If you want to get into the semantics, it does not say that the person they released was the wrong person. They just said that they mistakenly done it. The reason why I bring it up is, dude, the reason why I didn't want to show you this, I wanted to get your reaction. So check this out. Check out what the image itself actually states. And anyone who does, like, web production stuff, and again, I have not 1,000,000% verified the authenticity of this exact image. It is from the GOP Rapid Response Director, but I didn't look further than that. A bunch of people cropped and screenshotted. Quite frankly, some awful versions where they still have like the URL in the title and they cut off like half of the thing. So like, but this was apparently live for some time. That's my only point. It wasn't a thing. But check this out, dude. So here it is. Now, I don't make websites. I would imagine if you had just generic, because who knows, maybe any one of those people would be VP. This also, I guess, will add in the wake of Joe Biden announcing that it would be the first week of August when his VP would be announced. But dude, look at this more. It says that Kamala Harris was the winner. Showed you this already.
Yeah.
But check out the second paragraph. In his announcement, Biden called Harris a worthy opponent and a worthy running mate.
Ooh.
An announcement that, according to this publication from the future, takes place August 1st. They say Joe Biden chose Kamala Harris to become his running mate for the 2020 election on August 1st, 2 weeks before the Democratic National Convention, after keeping his choice close to the chest for months. If this is true, how ironic is that? He kept it so close to the chest, Politico ran it by mistake a few days early. But it is, I mean, like, I understand the concept of pre-writing. I don't think maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you literally do just make up phony BS quotes and just make up a date. Just pick a date out of a hat. August 1st. This is the day he'll pick allegedly Kamala. Like, it would make sense to me if there was like a basic outline and they had, Biden's VP pick so-and-so with like spots to put quotes.
Yeah.
But Politico, from what I found, I mean, they mentioned it, they admitted it, right? Had live on their website reporting from Joe Biden's August 1st announcement that Kamala Harris will be his VP. In a way, it almost feels like we'll never know how true it actually was. I feel like Biden will have to remove, if this does happen, he'll have to remove that line from the announcement, just to feign some like, maybe it's just a coincidence. Like, she is the front runner after all, but this is weird, man. Like, I get having Kamala Harris wins and then a bunch of blank space or maybe just a paragraph that's kind of, but they're talking about the date he does it, which is a future date, by the way. They're reporting future news over here in Politico. And they're reporting quotes from this future event. So that was what was weird to me. It went a little bit beyond just like accidentally calling Kamala the winner. It was like, here's the thing. When you get down to these third and fourth paragraphs, right? Kamala Harris' identity as a prosecutor is well known. Harris joined the DAs. Harris and Biden squared off in the primary, but Harris never actually made it. Like, that does sound like what you would call pre-writing stuff, right? Where if, like, you're a journalist, you have to write a story about Biden's VP pick. Well, if you want to get your story out first, write this part, which is true today, tomorrow, and the next day now, and then wait and just fill in. I mean, you'll notice the information from the future here is, like, 3 sentences. Like, you could have all of this written ahead of time. But why have the date and the quotes pre-written in there? I mean, this feels a lot more like they leaked it ahead of time than, it was a mistake. And this is one of those things, too. It's like, is Biden going to change his VP pick now because Politico spoiled it? I mean, it's not like a wrestling match where they can kind of like switch the finish at the last minute. I mean, if Biden's going through with Harris, you think he will. So if true, man, what a goofy blunder from Politico, right?
Well, is it a blunder? That's the question.
Too. That's a good point.
Is it a blunder?
That's a good point.
Because that there's this unholy alliance between the mainstream media, and Politico is basically as mainstream as print political journalism gets in Washington, D.C. So how do you know somebody just didn't know and didn't accidentally slip it? Oh.
Well, no, but that's my point is I believe they're privy to this information is the way I was looking at it originally. I thought you meant more along the lines of What if there is like 3 people? What if they do have this pre-write for 3 people because the Biden campaign is like sending out multiple press releases to different journalists to let them get out in public, and they're like, let's see how the response is. People like it.
Oh, do you think they're guinea pig testing us?
Dude, companies okay, anybody who likes
they're faking a leak. This is a false flag announcement.
Not that. Anybody who
it's like
follows
Syria
media,
and the chemical bombs for your boy Bashar the Lion.
It's like when they release scenes from a movie early scenes. Like, isn't it weird how, like, in superhero movies, they'll have early released pictures of the guy in the costume so they can get feedback right away? So it isn't like the movie comes out and everyone's like, that's not Batman. It's like, well, goddamn, I wish we knew that I wish that 2 years ago. Like, they leak this stuff out early a lot of the time to gauge reaction without it being an official. It saves them embarrassment if they leak something out, gauge reaction, and then adjust it a little bit later, as opposed to like the Sonic the Hedgehog movie where the trailer runs, people revolt, and you delay the movie 9 months to like redo it.
I said months ago, and you ridiculed me, Cody. You ridiculed me, and I will remember this. But remember I said it's going to be Kamala? It's going to be Kamala, dude. And then we said that would be a bad choice because Californians hate her, but Californians are already in the bag. And all politics aren't local now. All politics are national. So if you already have California in the bag because it's a blue state, you don't care if she's popular in California or not. You care if all the other virtue signaling progressives, especially on the northeastern seaboard, the people who feel so guilty, they loved Elizabeth Warren, but we just can't vote for her. Not because she lied about her ethnicity, but because of her ethnicity. She's white. We can't vote for her. White equal bad in modern progressive nomenclature. So Kamala's the only other big name out there, big brand out there. And also, Kamala's charismatic. I mean, she's a charismatic liar, but she's charismatic. I mean, she'd send your kid to jail and force him into labor on behalf of the state after his release date as a cheap and inexpensive way of fighting wildfires in California. You know what I'm saying? But she's still charismatic. And she also is one of the few that I think has really harnessed the power of social media. Like, she's actually one of the few people that posts every day, gets in there. I mean, it's her team. I know it's not her. But I don't know. I think they're going to go with Kamala. I think they're going to do it.
Well, I mean, who knows? She's a front runner. I just thought that was. But I'll tell you one thing that lends maybe a little credence. Something Kamala Harris maintained pretty much her entire career, I believe. She's very strict on. Actually, this might go against it a little bit. We'll get into this. Something the Democrats did Monday, I believe. They voted in some of their. Let's see the exact. I'll make sure I get the exact title of it. But anyway, part of their platform will not include. Party rejects a position shared by 2/3 of the country, which would be federal marijuana legalization. The reason why I wanted to bring this up, they actually have a. This is interesting. Do you think marijuana should be made legal? Not that they should be decriminalized. Not if marijuana offenders should be released. Should it be made legal? Apparently in 2019, 67% of people polled, according to Pew Research.
Dude, I'm there.
But this is what's crazy. And I think it's interesting and fascinating. Do they have the graph in this article? They don't. I saw a graph earlier, and you brought it up, right? About the fact that it does seem like a little bit through the main big DNC party a bit. Like, we got California, Nevada, the entire west coast of Nevada have marijuana recreationally legalized. I guess they're not worried about their votes. And like, whatever, you guys have it legalized in your states. Why do you care what happens in the other bozo states? We'll keep it illegal there.
So before we go any farther, we got to hit the super chat. Thank you very much. Sly Cactus started out the day saying $5 for the amazing pre-stream live stream with Cardin's Chair 2020. Oh, were we setting up all of the cameras and it streamed my chair?
Just YouTube. I don't know why it should not have been outputting video, but it was. Thankfully, it wasn't,
Oh, fortunately, the mics weren't on and they didn't hear us saying our heinous propaganda. My heinous propaganda. And Nathan Butcher's back. He says, welcome back. Cop Mala, what a joke. Pre-writes like Super Bowl champ merch.
Remember when Kamala did that herself, by the way? Actually, thank you for bringing that up, man. Thank you for bringing that up.
Wait, what is it bringing up? I'm blanking on this. What's pre-writes?
Okay. Obviously, when a team wins the Super Bowl, they'll give them a hat that says they're the Super Bowl champions.
I see. Oh, he's saying pre-writes, not as a verb form.
When they're still on the field, right? Now, obviously, they didn't print the hats during the game. They printed the hats ahead of time, and that's why it's like a joke, but it's true. They'll send boxes to like people who just need clothing. They'll send them boxes.
Or they end up in the dollar store. Yeah. I've seen those in the dollar store.
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah, sometimes. But no, like it'll like seriously be like Like there's somewhere someone has a 2018 Dodgers World Series hat and shirt where they in the parallel universe where they won some of them. Anyway, Kamala Harris did that. Don't you remember that? Kamala Harris. I want to pull the shirt up all the way. Remember at the debate, and it's funny. Speaking of Kamala, when she had her big slam on Joe Biden, talking about busing, and she's like, "And that girl was me." I love this exchange because it's so funny on Twitter. Check this out. She's like, "And that girl was me." She posts this picture. And so Franklin Leonard, don't know who this guy is, but he says this is, I don't know the exact timestamp, but this was a little bit later, the same day, June 27th. So this should already be on a T-shirt in the store. Because it was. It was because she already, and you can't see the link anymore because it's bad. I can probably pull up a screenshot of it somewhere. But just because they don't sell the shirt anymore because she dropped out. But she basically did that. She basically had these shirts set up ahead of time to drop them right, or maybe her people acted really quick, but it was funny. It was like they had this merch ready to go for her big moment on stage, which again, her big moment on stage was slamming Joe Biden. So that was, but maybe it was wrong. Maybe these people are hacks and they do just make stuff up in their pre-writes. It was just, what stuck out to me is so odd about this was the fact that it listed the date and the quotes from the fictional alleged future press release. Like maybe some of the laziness in journalism is because I was a pretty lazy local journalist. Not even I, and I could have got away with just making stuff up probably. Not even I was like, on this day, this person said. Even I would be like, well, that feels like a little bit like not right. So it is weird that this came out, but I just thought this was it kind of went hand in hand with the DNC recently choosing to. Now, I do want to, as far as I understand what's going on with the DNC and their platform involving marijuana legalization, they're not going to support marijuana legalization, but they are going to support, ironically, like everything else, like decriminalize, release people. It's like, why if you make it legal and then just retroactively release people who go to jail for it being legal, it kind of does everything they're talking about doing. But anyway,
but then you can say you didn't legalize it. You can engage in the semantic argument of saying, no, I didn't legalize it, but I agreed to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Well, it's because they've just taken it. They want to legalize. They're going to vote for us anyway. Their votes are ours, which is the mentality that I hate that I see coming from mostly all elitist politicians. But Democrats seem particularly elitist right now. They'll vote for us anyway. We can tell them whatever we want. Yeah. I don't like it, but I just wanted to. There's a couple. Now I'm not going to get into the entire past of Kamala Harris. I'm sure a lot of you guys know about Kamala Harris. The things she did. This article, though, it's from March 29th. I love some of the quotes in this article. One of them is my favorite. So it's from Washington Post. It says, Kamala Harris's careful answer on jailing parents whose kids miss school. So they go through, and what they're referencing is Kamala Harris had a policy she had set up in the area of San Francisco where if a kid was truant, I think it was like 10% of classes in a year, the parent could face some jail time. She says when I was district attorney, I did an analysis of who the homicide victims were, who they were. We'll go through it. You can see it on screen. I'm not super interested in what Kamala Harris' quote was because what's interesting is I just love. Here we go. This paragraph. When she was the San Francisco district attorney, Harris took it upon herself to boost school attendance rates.
Oh.
She did this by threatening to prosecute parents whose kids missed too many days of school without good reason. I just love it. It's like, that sounds nice, boosting school attendance rates. I want to threaten prosecutions. That's how we're going to raise attendance rates. By threatening prosecutions of anyone's an interesting way. But one thing, the little aside of it, though, which is a little bit kind of, where it kind of, I don't know what the word for it is, right? But wasn't generally speaking the threat to parents be that the state would take their kids from them and put them in the charge of the state? Because when you jail a parent, you are separating the parent from the child.
Yeah.
So you could do it one of two ways, right? You can take the child from the parent.
Yeah, it would depend on custody at that point, a chain of custody, yeah.
But just, instead of the state saying, look, your kids are not going to school, this is very important, you cannot raise them or whatever, so we'll threaten to take. My thing is, that threat does exist from the state, right? The state will threaten to take people's kids. It's hilarious to me, though, to threaten to separate kids from families the other way by just jailing the parents. Because what happens to the kids if the parents go to jail? What, they live in the house, feed themselves? No, I'm sure they go to the state's care.
Yeah.
It's one of the most bizarre, weird lines of thinking, and it's just I love this paragraph because it sums it up to me. It sums up to me a lot of things about Kamala Harris. I've seen her do it. Just like I'm always like,
It's
what?
not bizarre for those of us that have seen it as the evil empire since the very beginning, Cody.
I don't know what that means. But I'm saying it's just funny. It's like, well, yeah, sure, raising school attendance, because Kamala Harris isn't crazy when she says there's a correlation between people dropping out of high school and crime happening in the area. I think that definitely is true. I think just threatening to prosecute parents for having truant children is one of the weirdest ways. Again, like, it's just weird. And I guess maybe you can functionally get to it where it's like, look, if you're threatening to take someone's kids away and they just like, I don't care, whatever. I don't care if they go to school. Maybe they won't care if they take the kids away. So you have to get them to selfishly care by threatening to jail them.
Yeah.
But then that also just encourage parents to give up custody. Now, did some research into it. They had, before you would go get sent to jail, and nobody got sent to jail in San Francisco based on this, people did get sent to jail in California when Kamala extended it to a statewide or pushed for a statewide extending, and she became the state attorney general. But normally they would have some mediation ahead of time, and basically they would just sit down with you. And she said it herself multiple times that it was really a threat. Like, it's a threat of jail. Very few people ever would have to actually. I think they referenced one person went to jail for it in like Modesto because they like evaded like 50 attempts to be reached out to by like the school people. Like, okay, whatever, prosecute this person. They obviously don't care, but it was always just as funny that just kind of, I think I've seen like a lot of Kamala Harris's plans and a lot of stuff she does is like that. Okay, people dropping out of school can increase violence, so maybe we should have people stay in school longer. Okay, maybe we should throw parents in jail if the kids don't go to school. It's like, it's so weird. Like, I was with you for the first two or three, and then it's like, what are you talking about?
But could you imagine a United States of America in which Kamala Harris, as a Californian, Cody, who has lived in the wake of Kamala Harris's blood trail for the past, she was what? She was attorney general. She was not DA. She was the state attorney general, state AG, right? I can't remember the correct term. She was the top cop, shall we say, in California for what was it? 6 years?
Yeah.
4 years? And it was brutal.
Joe Biden potentially will be employing the police by
having
her as a
could
VP.
you imagine if she all of a sudden were the vice president? Now, vice president isn't very powerful, but they're a deal breaker in the Senate if they're
next in line to be president
in Congress. When Joe Biden croaks, you can pretty much just say, I mean, statistically, it's not even a function of if. You know,
we all will one day, unfortunately, pass away. So yes.
Yeah, but I mean, just like statistically, he's already on borrowed time.
Well, but what's
cognitively,
weird is,
he's declining super fast. You know, and if Kamala Harris is chosen to be VP, she's not VP, she's president. And then we have as president, I don't care how bad or inarticulately Donald Trump has ever spoken about any minority group, gender, group at large, any summation of people in the United States of America. I don't care how callously he has ever addressed them. He has not imprisoned them. He has not sent men with guns to their house to take away their children. You know, like, and that is what Kamala has done. Like, she's literally the villain in a movie whenever they try and show a dystopian future run by conservatives. You know what I'm saying? This woman is a right-wing dream.
To your point, you know who signed in when I said they wanted to extend the truancy jailing for parents?
Yeah.
You know who actually signed that into state law? It's the Republican governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger, at the time. That's actually signed it into state law.
You know, Republican governor, please. Married to a Kennedy.
Hold on. My only point is this, is to your point of like, yes, she definitely leaned more closer. She framed herself as the first progressive prosecutor, and then she was writing bills that, you know, like the Republican governor was signing, because it was like he was like, not writing bills, you know what I mean? But she was pushing for stuff getting passed that he was signing off on. But speaking
Hold my drink, I have date.
It honestly, I've been looking a little bit more just to touch on this. And again, it appears Politico, but honestly, if Politico didn't just leak that Kamala Harris is his VP, some weird shenanigans is going on in Politico, because having the dates and the quotes blew my mind. But check this out, dude. Look at this. It's posted 46 minutes ago by AP.
Right.
Apparently camera's too damn good nowadays. Somebody got a picture of this is a Joe Biden's notes.
Oh, get out of town! That's righteous.
And the AP published it. Oh, sorry. I want to make sure I got this. Make sure I got this right for you guys so you can see it. If I can see, blow it up. They say that one of the very top notes is to be nicer to Kamala. I want to just pull it up instead. We'll read the article in a minute.
Oh my gosh, it's right there. It says Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris, do not hold grudges. This is 46 minutes ago. The AP ran this. I'm not sure when this actual image got
What
out.
else does it say on that list, Cody? I love.
I'm trying to see. You know what?
Some Zoomer is the one that figured this out by just blowing up the super HD version of this.
Think people were shooting with like really nice lenses, right? Like really close, even from far away. If they're like a good lens and the camera shoots in really high resolution, you could.
This is literally just like in the Super Bowl when you got the people that are talking and they're doing all of their game plans, and all of a sudden you start seeing them talk to their friends just like this, by covering their mouth so that the cameras can't see what they're saying. We're gonna have to start doing that in politics, man.
Dude,
so it says
look how close I zoomed in.
Companies with the that's part.
I have no idea. What's that? Is the third
great help to? Does that say Cardin? They watch our show, dog. No, great help to Corona? Or great respect for Hill?
Respect for
her. Oh, great respect for her. Great help to Andrew? Congress? No, California. I think that says California. So it says she was a great help to California. She has great respect for her. And then what's that Alertco? It looks like Petco. Is that a shout out for Petco?
The third thing was the scratched outline, and then the second one is campaign with me plus JJ.
Campaigned with Mr.
I have no idea. Isn't this crazy how cameras are so good now? Joe Biden's notes flip to the side and somebody snaps a picture. We could just zoom in.
Oh my gosh, look, it says Department of Justice Reform. The people's lawyer? He's calling Kamala Harris the people's lawyer?
Well, she called herself that. She called herself. But yeah.
She imprisoned literally a percentage of the African American population in California. Like, you don't measure them in heads or hundreds, but in percentage points.
How about this? Look what he has written down there. Highest qualifications. Remember Hillary Clinton, the most qualified person ever? Regular people don't care about damn qualifications. They never really have. Donald Trump's president. Clearly they don't.
This is bad.
But honestly, this is the kind of, obviously isn't like the biggest notes, but I will say one thing. There is one name on this list, and it's literally at the top, and it's Kamala Harris. So it does look like the Kamala Harris. How crazy is this also, though? Joe Biden couldn't keep Kamala Harris under wraps for, 2 or 3 days? I mean, the 1st of August would be, 3 or 4 days from now? I mean, that is crazy. Last 100 days. VP, highest qualifications. I mean, look at VP written down here. If it is Kamala.
But it says listen to Schmidt or to Schmitty. After last 100 days, it says something.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Listen to science. Take responsibility.
Okay.
These are just talking points.
Restore son or restore soul. He wants to restore the soul of the country.
Talking points.
Restore his son. Yeah, where is Hunter Biden? Where's Hunter Biden?
Anyway, I want to get to a couple things really quickly. Some super chats while you guys still check out the stuff on the screen.
This is too good.
I believe let's go back to $2 from Andrew Holman. Thank you very much. He says Joe supports to fund the police riots and then picks a cop. So I mean, he's not funding the police; he's employing one of them. Shane Olmstead, $2. Chair 2020 or Riot, Adam Duffy, $2. Chair 2020 or bust. We'll do another chair stream one of these days. Adam Duffy, what flavor is your USB? I don't know what you're talking about, man. And then Nathan Butcher, $2 super chat. The people's champion, The Rock in the cabinet. Yeah, dude, honestly, tell you what, I was watching the Barr hearings today. The Rock should run for Congress. Apparently, Congress people just cut promos on various politicians. Rock would have been great at that, just running them up and down. Who cares if it's true? You just got your.
And then we could always have that GIF. We could just superimpose a suit on that GIF where he's like, "Shut up, B." Shut up, B. Well, imagine if he said that from the White House to somebody. Shut up, B.
That's what I think is funny is like some of the stuff the character The Rock did on WWE Raw would come back if he did run for office, and people would be like, "Oh my God, that was The Rock." The Rock did what? It wasn't like the worst things ever, but it's stuff that's not modern sensibilities would be like, Jesus, what was this guy doing? I thought he's the nice, cuddly, nice rock man. I didn't know it was this guy. But just to lend more credence to the Kamala Harris will be the VP pick. This is again an article from the AP, and they note that the very top of the list from Joe Biden's notes with Kamala Harris on them is do not hold grudges. That is funny because now I wonder if he. he wants the talking point of reminding people he doesn't hold grudges against Kamala Harris. I don't know if that's what he means by that. Because Politico, combined with me and Jill.
Oh, okay.
Campaigned with me and Jill. Not me plus JJ. Campaigned with me and Jill. Talented. Great help to campaign. Great respect for her. Dude. Gotta say one thing, man, about Biden.
By the way, if you have to
big mess up. Well,
if you have to write down that you have great respect for somebody and that does not come naturally as a talking point, then you know exactly what that person thinks.
Hold on, dude. Hold on.
Okay, what are we holding on to?
Oh my God! Please tell me I'm remembering this correctly. Did it or did it not say? Here we go. This is too ironic.
Okay.
This is the definition of irony. In the leaked, I'm assuming, announcement that Kamala Harris would be the VP. I mean, there's so much evidence in the last 2 or 3 hours that Kamala Harris is VP. But check this out. They say that Joe Biden had kept his choice close to the chest for months. He had kept his choice close to the chest.
For months.
For months. Keep that in mind. He kept it close.
Which means that he let it out.
He literally did not keep it close to the chest. I think keep it close to your chest or your vest or whatever is like a card playing term to where you keep your cards close so people can't see it overhead. He literally turned his cards to the table. That's how we saw the notes. Where it just talk about irony, huh? He kept it so close to his chest that an AP photographer photographed his literal notes he wasn't keeping close to his chest, and we're able to read.
That is epic. That is totally epic. So we got a couple of super chats I'm going to address right now. Andrew Holman, thank you very much. Super chat saying, for the image of Rock next to Jerry Nadler, I have. Awesome.
I'm trying to find
That'd be really hilarious. I actually would pay serious money to watch like physical engagement between or any kind of athletic engagement between any of these congressmen. And I have to say, I lost respect for Senator Cruz for not playing that basketball game with Andrew Yang. I lost it. What'd you say?
Yeah, why back out? Why'd he back out?
Yeah, dude. You lost me. Senator Cruz, I liked your tax proposals before then. Definitely like you post-mustache and goatee in comparison to pre-mustache and goatee. All right. But you backed out, dog. And I really think if you agree or challenge somebody to a basketball game, you got to play in that basketball game. And there is redemption and there is hope yet. So
you play Jimmy Kimmel. What the hell? Why won't you play Yang?
Yeah, exactly. So Senator Cruz, I want to see you in on that, bro. I want to see you in on that. Anyway, Adam Duffy says, regularly scheduled super chat reminding the currently 130, now 134 people watching this to drop a like. Yes, Adam, thank you. Friend of the show, Adam Duffy, reminding y'all to smash that like button. And also, whenever we post these, hey guys, what do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about today? Cards and community posts. Make sure that you share that with your friends and invite your friends, simply just saying, hey, we hang out and we talk politics with these guys at the end of every day. Tune in and let us know what you want to talk about, and they will consider it. It's a great way to share and help the channel if you cannot join as a member, of course. And finally, my melanated scope says, hashtag Watchgate. Who thinks that Cody's watch is a Casino men's vintage A168WA or Casio men's vintage A168WA-1 electroluminescence? Yes or no? Vote now. Dude.
I got some bad news. I saw 3 yeses in the chat.
Yeah.
It's not. It is.
It's not.
Technically, the Casio men's A1 or A15. What's the name of it?
Because yours is like 20 years old, right?
I've had this watch for 8 years. Yeah. No. Technically, the electroluminescence one right here on the watch. Let's see if you can see it. You probably can't because of focus. Okay. Right here on the watch.
No, just get it close to the camera.
Electroluminescence. This one doesn't.
Watch, get it. No, but Cody, I'm showing off our autofocus because I set it up, dog. Get it really close to the camera so they can see. Just give it a second. Give it a second. It's gonna zoom in.
I can't get my hand to the angle.
Okay, fine.
Forget it. But yes. Close, very close. Honestly, I think I probably would prefer the electroluminescence for everything if they slightly higher. Oh, speaking of, Kyle Montreal just joined the channel. Thank you very much.
Yeah, what's up, Kyle? And John LeMay says, can I send you guys artwork? You know what? We actually used to get a ton of fan artwork that was awesome. Yeah.
Twitter. Just tag me on Twitter or DM me on Twitter. I'm using it at the moment. I'm trying to get back on, guys, but
yeah,
Twitter. But yes, Twitter right now is a great place.
So John LeMay, if you're serious about it, hit us up on Twitter DM us on Twitter or send us an email at problemsolverpolitics@gmail.com with a picture of the artwork, and we'll actually do our best to show it. Or if you want to send us a physical copy, we might even be able to put it behind us in an actual live stream to show off some of our fan art, which we super duper support and enjoy. So anyway, what were we talking about, Cody? We'd busted Joe Biden for his note taking, which was hilarious, and I loved.
But it's more just Joe Biden officially is announcing his VP the first week of August, but I mean, somebody literally just took a picture of his notes that have Kamala Harris's name at the top with the talking points about her, and Politico accidentally published basically the press release saying, I mean, like, dude, we'll just walk through this again. We'll just walk through the logic of this again. I know we went over this, probably beat it to death already, but this is just the most mind-blowing thing to me.
Yeah.
So the image of the alleged image, but this is the image being distributed that Politico has came out and said was incorrectly published, was this piece. But, dude, like, how do you accidentally publish something with quotes from a future date about an event that takes place in the future? Why was that written on their website in the back end? Why was Future News ever something Politico had waiting on? Like, how does that get posted by mistake? Did it accidentally, post a thing that looks like a template or an outline or like, oh, we have a general so-and-so wins for everybody, but they're all the same? Like, it's like cited, like, this is, and you'll notice, again, one thing, I brought this up originally when we looked at it. Politico, when they came out and issued an editor's note, nowhere in their editor's note do they say that the information was incorrect. The only thing that they said was a mistake was that I actually love that we regret the mistake. I'm sure they do regret the mistake. It really did. Because they never say that, oh, we said that Kamala was the VP. That's not true. We have no idea who it is. Yeah. They just said that they mistakenly reported he had made his decision. He hasn't made his decision. You think they would just come out and say, look, we have no idea who it's going to be. It's not Kamala. Maybe they did somewhere else, but it's a funny editor's note when you just read it for what it is. All they're saying is they erroneously reported that a decision had been made, and they regret it. So nothing about Kamala being the VP.
So Cody.
And then the picture of Joe Biden's notes, which, dude, I'm going to go back to my first conspiracy, though, that this is intentional a little bit.
You think so?
Because they can still back out. She's not actually the VP yet. She's probably the VP.
And they might have just been testing the waters.
If the reaction is bad enough, they might say, yep, never mind. That maybe Politico are such hacks. They just make up news and hope it's vaguely what happens so they can run. I don't know.
Okay. So, Cody, I have a question for you. You know how we were talking about the PPP? I just sent you a link in Discord that you have to check out. I forgot to give this to you in the pre-show. But did you hear about the dude in Miami that got busted for taking millions in PPP money, and then he bought a $318,000 Lambo with it and was about to get away with it, but then the Fed caught him because he started splurging on Saks Fifth Avenue with the money. So two things. First off, what are your thoughts on that? Second off, how do we get a hold of some of this PPP money so we can go to Saks Fifth Avenue and we can do this? By the way, if my friend directed a music video called like Anthem of a Douchebag, and it's really funny because in every verse of the song, there's this guy who, goes and buys pants and tries to outdress himself from being a douchebag.
Florida man.
So on and so forth. Yeah.
It's a Florida man. What do you know?
Yeah. Well, this guy, despite all of the money, if you look at his picture, he literally looks like he won the Tool Academy episode in the early 2000s. Like, if there ever were like an anthem to the douchebag to be sung, it is this cat. You can look it up on the Smoking Gun article. You would never believe, like, this kind of infuriates me, but I kind of have respect for the guy.
Yeah. On receiving the PPP funds, he made 2 payments of $30,000 to a recipient noted as Mom. At least he was keeping track of things.
Dude, but look at all this stuff. So David Hines was his name, and you got to look up this picture.
He was charged with 1 count of bank fraud, of making.
No, okay. Can you go back to the Smoking Gun article?
Yeah,
and
I just have never heard of Smoking Guns. I was gonna run with their.
Oh, you haven't heard? I've seen the Smoking Gun articles around before, but apparently this is the picture
seen a lot
of the
articles
guy.
Around before. Okay.
This is apparently the dude. This is why it's illegal in the United States of America to have your photo on a resume. What's kind of interesting was when I was down in Argentina and I was serving in Argentina, I walked into this guy's office and he had a bunch of, papers there with a bunch of like headshots on them. And I asked him, I was like, hey, what are those? Are you like, into acting and modeling and things like that? And he said, oh, no, those are resumes. And there was a bunch of pictures paperclipped to him. And he's like, yeah, it's technically illegal. So people paperclip the picture so they can say it wasn't on the resume. You know what I'm saying? Because it's illegal to have a picture, but everybody does it anyway. Because down here, you're allowed to basically culturally have pictures on the resume. You know what I'm saying? Which isn't allowed here because I guess they don't want people being, judgmental towards ugly people or something like that. But this brother with that picture never would have gotten the PPP money. You know what I'm saying? This is why you got to have your social media on lockdown, man. Only friends. Only make that privacy account high.
I love this too. Get this. So I don't know what company exactly was. I'm going to mention it. But so within days of receiving the funds, he purchased a brand new 2020 Lamborghini Huracan. I probably shouldn't. I have no idea how to pronounce that sports car for approximately $318,000, which he registered jointly in his name and the name of one of his companies. What company needs a Lamborghini? You know what I mean? Like that.
And the other thing is, look at this.
That's kind of money to me.
It says Hines was arrested in October of 2018 when he became combative with Miami Beach police officer after reporting that his girlfriend had stolen his black Lamborghini, which carried a, quote, cash-in vanity license plate. This brother had a vanity license plate on a Lamborghini that said cash in. And
you know what that reminds me
he's
of?
Getting millions in PPP money.
There's a show called It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and one of the characters tries to scam the federal government in it. And like some tax scam, right? And they come to audit her. Yeah. In the fictional TV show, the cartoon clown character literally has a license plate in their scooter that says scamming. They got the money from scamming. I love that. Not the same thing, but a guy who would eventually go on to just steal money from the government and a license plate and cash in.
Dude, that is freaking brutal, man. That and the shark attack in Maine. I feel bad for that person. But, man, I read that article. I thought, what the heck? If you can't swim the ocean in Maine without worrying about getting attacked by a shark, is there no safe refuge? Is there no safe harbor? At that point, we're worrying about killer whales, right?
Well, someone got attacked by a shark the other day. $2 super chat, though, from Nathan Butcher. Said, if Biden wins, do you think Trump will step down?
What? Oh, yes, of course. Yeah. All of this, Trump isn't going. That's all leftist garbage.
Well, but I think there's a scenario where like both sides would maybe litigate the initial results. Kind of like, did Al Gore and George Bush? I guess George W. Bush is happy with him, right? But like Al Gore contended. I don't think he was because he's trying to steal the election.
I think for 2 weeks there was contention.
Yeah, but because there was legit nonsense going on in Florida. George Bush maybe stole that election. You know what I mean? So
well, and also hanging chads.
But I think like all things being equal, I think both sides. I don't think if Trump legitimately wins, Joe Biden will have people storm the White House. I don't think if Joe Biden legitimately wins, Donald Trump will have the military lock down the White House. But
I do have to say, I think that's leftist garbage. People that say, oh, he's not going to go. They're just trying to create some kind of controversy out of nothing. But I do worry. I legitimately worry. People say voter fraud is not an issue. Yeah, it is. In California, we have had 3 different instances of bad voter fraud. And look up New Jersey voter fraud.
Issue.
They had to throw away 20% of mail-in ballots due to voter fraud. And we're finding entire cases of fraud. We have never, as a country, had a massive, widespread, all mail-in ballot election. This has never been done before. So we have no precedents to go by, and we have no metrics that we can measure fraud by or not. I mean, this isn't like 1 or 2 elections. Yes, there have always been 1 or 2 offs.
It's almost like, do you think there was fraud in the Hanging Chads election in Florida, where George Bush's brother was the governor? Weeks, as you mentioned, for weeks.
No, but there's physical evidence you can go back to. There's no physical evidence as to who turned in that ballot.
Okay, but all I'm saying is this. I do agree that shenanigans have been going on in every election ever for quite some time. Like, we can look no further than when people... Dude, there was alleged shenanigans going on when people literally had to... Remember what the Hanging Chad was? I was a little kid, but I remember they talked about these goddamn Hanging Chads for 2 weeks. That sounds about right, straight. We're talking about paper ballots where you literally punched a hole in like the name of the... There was people worried about the legitimacy of an election in Florida where you literally took a piece of paper, as far as I understand, and you punched a hole through the name.
Well, do you remember those?
I remember the hanging chat was like, well, it was like.
Well, no, but do you remember? You had not voted yet by then, right? Because I was too young to vote.
I just remember the wall to wall, even as a 10-year-old. There's endless news coverage about these hangings. But just the point being, to your point, is like.
Have you voted in person yet, Cody?
No.
Okay, so here in California, if you vote in person, because even though I'm a mail-in ballot person, half of the mail-in elections I forget, and so I still have to go in and vote provisional ballot, and what it is they got this big greasy pen that 150 other people have touched before the person is supposed to sanitize it after every person comes in and does it, and it pours out a bunch of ink through these little holes that are like on a Scantron. Well, now it's an excess of ink that does it that makes it supposedly too hard to miss if you throw it through the Scantron machine. But previously, you would punch through them, Cody. You would legit have to physically punch through them. I remember you had to it took a little bit of oomph. You know what I'm saying? Which I think some of the old ladies and the old gents from the retirement villa probably weren't doing too well. And that's what caused that controversy. But at least you still had the original ballots you could look at that you knew were from that person. Because this is how they voted for the past 8 election cycles, so on and so forth. With mail-in ballots, that all goes away. It all goes away. And if you don't think Al Franken didn't win because of voter fraud, widespread voter fraud because of mail-in ballots, you're crazy.
Okay, call me crazy. I'm crazy. Yeah, I'm crazy. I think I will say, though, there's probably tons of people that have won off voter fraud in this country all the time.
Okay, so
every election, I guarantee you, somebody won from some form of fraud somewhere. Because if you aren't, you know what's funny? You ever hear if you aren't cheating, you aren't trying?
Okay.
Problem is, people who believe that, they tend to get away with cheating more often than you think. It's like crimes. Like when they catch somebody for doing some white collar baloney money crime, and it's like, tell you what, how many goddamn Lamborghinis bought with PPP money we don't know about?
Dude, that's true.
Where someone wasn't stupid enough to use that money to buy the Lamborghini, and they moved some money around.
And they probably weren't stupid enough to have a picture like that on Facebook.
And register it in their business. I mean, imagine you buy a Lamborghini literally with the same money you just got as a loan and register it to your business. They'd be like, dude, what are you doing? There's probably smarter people who did abuse the PPP stuff. They weren't the Lakers trying to apply for it. They got approved, right?
So we got to...
Sorry, just, for all the stuff we see, there's more we don't see because smarter people do it.
Yes, my friend who's a cop says we only catch the stupid ones. That's what he always says. We only catch the stupid ones. Anyway, my melanated scope. Thank you once again for the super chat. Keep these coming, guys. It keeps the boat afloat, if you know what I'm saying. It says, okay, my guess. Cardin's watch is a Fossil FB01 3-hand date black. No, I do know which watch you're talking about though, and I really like it. But it was $350 or $450.
Real watch.
Yeah, it was a legit watch, man. The diesel and the Fossil watches I do like, but it's not actually. This is what it is, and this is best kept secret. I get compliments on this watch all the time. I'm going to tell you the secret. This actually is a Casio. Yeah, it's their scuba diver watch. It's only $28 on Amazon, and this is my 5th one. But the reason why I get it, you have to specifically ask for the oversized face, though, the 55 millimeter face, or not the small one. And the reason why I get it is because I have to have an individual number on each one of the the numbers, and I have to be able to see the date for when I'm at work, and I hate it when there's not a second hand. The only way this could get any better is if it were indeed a chronograph watch, meaning that it could measure time, but it doesn't because it is an inexpensive watch.
I want to touch on one thing. Went to that super chat. So we're wrapping up here soon. A little bit here, guys. Walk back that line of logic. These watches are great. They're only $30. I've only had to buy 5 of them.
Oh, no, because I literally take them off my hand because people give me compliments sometimes. And I'll be like, yeah, you want it? Because that's what Frank Sinatra used to do, and so I developed that as a habit. So yeah, it's the 5th one that I've purchased, but I never actually have worn one out.
I thought you were going to say it's what Jesus would have done. I believe it is what Jesus also would have done.
That's what
Not Jesus, but Frank Sinatra.
Yeah. Well, Frank Sinatra, Jesus.
Yeah, well, I think Frank Sinatra and Jesus would do it for 2 entirely different reasons. I think Sinatra.
They both had great skin tone.
I think Sinatra's like,
blue eyes.
I have all the money in the world. Just take my watch. I don't care. Anyway, JFB, $2 super chat. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to you. And Shane Olmstead, $2 super chat. Is this how we chat now? Also, why for the Cardin watch guess? Nah. Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
I will say, mine was a bit of a tricky one because like Casio made like 4 watches that look basically like this. They're all the digital bracelets. Some are the electroluminescent, some are. But anyway.
Yeah.
No, enough watch talk. I'm such a watch guy. I've had the same $12 watch for 8 years. Just want to get back and, well, I guess that is kind of we'll just wrap up some of the news here today that by all accounts, this Politico leak that Kamala Harris will be Joe Biden's VP appears to be more than likely true. I would say the second more significant leak we saw tonight is really what, in combination with the two, as it puts it over the edge. This is one of the crazier, I would say, legitimately, one of the more, oh, come on, I hate when websites do this, but it's one of the more interesting political, I don't say leaks, but with everything going on right now, and by that I just mean speculation about who Joe Biden's VP will be and him announcing he's going to say who his VP will be soon. I mean, like, to literally have his notes get leaked out with Joseph R. Biden Jr. at the top and Kamala Harris's name
rough.
handwritten under.
It's rough,
It's
dude.
not rough. It's just like, well, I mean, like, I'll tell you what. You know what's going to be really rough for? If somehow Kamala isn't his VP.
Yeah.
It would
By the
probably
way,
be
can
devastating for her.
Can we get real on how you're supposed to say her name? Is it Kamala or Kamala? I think it's Kamala, right?
Probably depends.
I actually looked this up a month ago, but my chemo brain is totally kicking in. And I got to tell you, I forgot what we studied out like when we were first looking it up. So, yeah, shout out and answer in the chat if you know. Speaking of the chat, we're going to be wrapping up here in a couple of minutes. If you got any last questions, any last burning questions, you got to send us a super chat right now and ask us said question before we wrap up. Before you go anywhere, though, Trumper for Yang asks, hey, Card, nice cams and mics. See what I did there? Oh, yeah. You complimented us on our new setup, which is actually what is paid for by all these cool super chats. We are constantly trying to upgrade this thing and make it better. It's a slow and laborious process and oftentimes very frustrating, but very, very, very worthwhile. Sly Cactus says, future live stream, you guys should take Trump's cognitive test. Oh, you want to do that tomorrow, Cody?
Sure.
The cognitive test that Don Lemon failed on?
Well, I mean, you just kind of... I saw
Don
that,
Lemon's
but dude,
trolling the
okay.
president, and then he tanks on his own
That's
cognitive
why
test.
live you don't play around and goof off with stuff like that. Because you probably make some stupid mistake when you're just not paying attention and look like an absolute buffoon. It's one of those things. Hey, a little bit. So it's one thing I thought was funny. Right? One of the things that they tell people when you do interviews, right?
Yeah.
Generally speaking, if you're holding a mic with an interview, do not let go of the mic. If someone tries to grab it, no, don't give it. Because if you give someone else the mic, they can say whatever they want, potentially, right? There was a video. My last thing, we'll wrap up here. But I was watching old wrestling videos from like the 2000s. One of the all-time great wrestling interviewers. There was a pro football player turned wrestler.
Yeah.
And he says, give me that mic. And he goes to grab the mic from this little interview guy. He's like my height, like a 50-year-old man. He just grabs it with both hands. And he's like, what? And the big football team was like, whoa, I guess you're really holding on to this thing. And eventually to give up. But I just thought it was funny. It's like, that was just such a like class example. Like rule number 1, never give up the mic. And he just, with both hands, like, no, like using his whole body weight to hold it down. I just thought that was funny.
Yeah, so Adam Duffy, thank you very much for the last super chat. It says, this super chat is going to the Chair 2020 campaign. Sorry, guys. Oh, is the Chair 2020 campaign the new Harambe line? Is Chair 2020 the new any functioning adult line?
Ooh, Magic Mike's not giving you very good odds, dude.
Oh, dude, rough. Magic Mike, rough. Join the channel, Magic Mike. Join the channel. So anyway, this has been real and it's been fun, guys. Thank you for hanging out with us. As always, it's awesome. We are going to see you guys here tomorrow. Same time, same place. This is Problem Solver Politics. We'll see you guys in the next video.